do you want to sit around here and chit-chat, or do you want to go down to the studio?
I remember as a young person in the studio struggling to be able to make pots like Warren and have them have that beautiful appearance like right off the wheel, and I could never do it. And I said I tried so hard to be like Warren McKenzie. Michael Simon, one of my classmates, said to me once, he said, I thought I was Warren McKenzie. I have to say that Warren McKenzie changed my life and my way of thinking about life and things. And I knew from the first moment that I touched clay and began to make pots that I wanted to be a potter and work in ceramics.
Life has been quite exciting at times and dramatic at other times, and it would have made a good story. And I suppose I feel that way too about the books. You've got to contribute even though you may not be tops. You know, you're supporting other things.
He's in a long and grand tradition, but he's never overawed by it, and he's never been constrained by it. A lot of people who make books or love printing tend to be a little bit narrow in their concerns. They tend to be proscriptive of others and prescriptive in their own work. King has never been that. He's always been free to do what he felt like doing or what he saw was a possibility. His work is always fresh, it's always direct. He loves complication when complication is illuminating, and he loves simplicity when simplicity throws light.
When I developed this drawing, I didn't know that it would stretch out to be 30 foot long eventually, and it would cover my life, well, for the first 60 years. At some point in the making of it, I was wondering how you could show it to people. I thought it might be a film. Maybe a camera could travel through this drawing and it would be kind of an autobiography. It would kind of be my life represented as a river. From there, I found some musicians who would compose a soundtrack to the drawing. There's a Northumbrian piper, composer Catherine Tuckell. I'm very fond of her music. And I thought that the Northumbrian pipes might be good to kind of have the chatter of moving water. So I explained to Catherine what it was I was hoping for. And she very kindly agreed to have a go. I made a photocopy of the drawing, sellotaped it all together, and had a strip of paper along the bottom, where I've explained some of the symbolism, some of the things that are going on, and I put the years on so that she had an idea of the chronology and what was going on. And then I asked her to just respond to the drawing as she saw it. It's a pretty bonkers idea, really, isn't it? A drawing that's 30 foot long. It doesn't really, it's not terribly practical.
これから先自分が何をやりたいかっていうのは別にその終着点を定めてるわけでもなければ、自分がやりたいことをこれから先自由にやっていきたい。そんなもんだな。で将来自分がどうなってるかっていうことは考えたこともないし、自分のやりたいことが、死ぬまでできればいいなと思ってるだけで。で焼き物が好きで、釜炊きが好きで、またそれ、外国でのワークショップをやって皆さんとの交流が好きで。そういうことを、最後までできればいいなと。だからそういうふうに焼き物の人生を楽しく送っていけたらいいなと思う。
What I'd done, in effect, was bring those two elements together. We got what had been quite anonymous functional things and very individual sculptural things. And now I was saying, forget the sculpture, forget that, bring them together.
positives to be taken from the opening 2 rounds, particularly Scotland? What can you try and take from this 80 minutes?
We played well in the first half. We just got to close it out in the second half. Well, I'm proud of the boys.
Yeah, it was a huge effort from you guys, but it's 4-day turnaround now before Japan. When you experience the defeat of this margin in a very physical encounter, how tough a task will it be to turn things around ahead of that one?
It's going to be tough. We got to grind it out. We got 4 days. I have faith in the boys. We can do this next job.
Should you not get a win in that one, how will you guys look back at this World Cup as a whole?
We played some good rugby. It's the longest that we've been together as a squad. If we don't get a win, still we'll be proud of the boys.
I don't think anybody's quite cracked that yet. So again, that's a pretty impressive feat. So it's another reason why I like to use the sort of stuff that I use. So all the bits that I found in Harris, they're all contained in their own boxes, dotted around the studio at the minute. So if I need to do a piece specific to the last trip, then I can be true to the place by using the objects that I collected there. Which again, to me is important, but to others, they won't necessarily realise that fact. It's getting everything in here. And then I'm sort of free to if I need that photograph, or I think I can use that photograph or that piece, I've got it. And as you're working the piece up, you can find something that works. You bring them together, make the connection. You normally know if it's a good connection, and if it's good, it goes in the box. If it's bad, it doesn't get connected.
Thanks.
Am I going to come across as a right weird fiddling with bits of dead stuff in his studio?
Hey everybody, welcome back to Rugby Wrap Up. Matt McCarthy at the Fantasy Sports Network Studio 34 in Midtown Manhattan talking rugby, and we have the pleasure of being here with Mr. Will Snape Rogers and Mr. Brian Gary.
Very well done, Matt.
I am Matthew Paul McCarthy, and we're doing the extra name here to make Will more comfortable.
Yeah,
because
it's necessary. It's necessary, without a doubt.
You didn't get my middle names.
I think if I was American, I would want to be classed as Tekutu Ngwenya post that 2007 World Cup. So no, it's all relative if one talks about it. But again, I was pretty fortunate genetically that I could do things and keep my body at a space where it kept me for a very long period of time.
You have now an opportunity with these kids. You have pathways, you have high school programs, you have the Eagles, but program. Now the Eagles, you have the Major League Rugby, and we're creating stars, right? But introducing somebody like this to these kids has to be phenomenal.
Yeah, and Brian kind of underplayed his impact that he made with them, because they may not immediately know who Brian Habana is, but he joined it.
Like the head of him. Could have been mine, could have had kids. The British Army decided to shoot him, cut his life short. And in the process, they wrecked every one of our lives.
There was a lot of tension there that day. You could almost cut it with a knife, you could feel it in the air. Tear gas cloud was everywhere because they were using that excessively then. My wife was worried about her sister who lived in Springfield Park. And so I said I'd go over and see if she was all right. Well, we got over there and there was the Protestant side were throwing stones at the backs of houses and petrol bombs, and The Catholic crowd was throwing stones and petrol bombs back, and I said to Cornwall, get the women and kids out. This was then about half six in the evening. It's a sunny day, quite pleasant. And we started walking across this field. Well, on one side of the field there was factories. It was on high ground. On the other side was the Protestant estate with big flats. And then in front of us was more flats that were where the Catholics lived, and the Henry Taggart, which was the local police station. And as we started walking across the field, we were shot at. My first instinct was to hit the deck and tell everybody else to hit the deck, because that was the training I had. But the guy next to me got killed. There's a guy in front of me got killed. I kept telling everybody to stay still, keep down. And I looked to where the shots were coming from, and they were coming from the block of flats in Spring Hill on the Protestant side. And it was a power, as you could see them as clear as anything.
Heil Hitler! Heil Hitler! Der Heil Hitler groß ist Pflicht. Niemand kann ungestraft bleiben, wenn er sich weigert zu grüßen.
The Germans had put a ban on Jehovah's Witnesses in Germany. You could get arrested if you had a single little booklet of Jehovah's Witnesses. You go to camp.
The devil has put his representative Hitler in control.
Heil sein! Ihr könnt nicht anders sein als mit uns verbunden!
He cruelly persecutes the Jews because they were once Jehovah's covenant people and bore the name of Jehovah, and because Christ Jesus was a Jew.
Jehovah's Witnesses are watched and then arrested and increasingly thrown first into prisons and then into labour and concentration camps, largely on these grounds, refusing to undertake military service, refusing to give the Heil Hitler salute, and refusing to be part of the Nazi pageantry.
Wie du grüßt du mich, Heil Hitler, das Bild der Führersorte. Du wirst entlassen und musst gehen.